Hey guys, and welcome to Let's Play Tropico 4 with me, X2X. Along with my SimCity 4 Let's Play, I'm gonna start uploading episodes of Tropico 4 I'll try every other day. That'll probably come back to bite me in the ass, but whatever. That's what my goal is right now, and if I don't make it, then c'est la vie. I really like this game, and I enjoy playing it, but I find often, like, I need to give myself a reason to come play it. Same thing with SimCity. So, hopefully, this series does well. I'm going to upload a whole bunch of episodes all at once, and then see... I'll probably just keep uploading it. You know, you guys should let me know whether or not you find it interesting, whether or not you find it boring. I really like Tropico 4. I think it's a really interesting game. I played the third one, and I like this one. It's more of a direct control sim as opposed to an indirect control sim like SimCity or Dwarf Fortress, for example. But it is still a pretty good game, and I have my own way to play it, which I think is really interesting. It's definitely not the right way to play it. I think one of the things that is really interesting about this game is you can play it a bunch of different ways, and none of them are particularly correct. Like, if you like to build big touristy style cities with like lots of housing and restaurants and stuff like that, you can do that, or you can do sort of like me, which looks a little different anyway. So we're going to start off with the campaign, and we're going to be playing the campaign. I think I'll probably try to see if I can beat all of the missions of the regular campaign. I don't have the DLC installed right now, but if it proves like a really successful Let's Play, like more like SimCity and less like Dwarf Fortress, then I'll definitely purchase the DLC.
What a hellhole. But at least it's my hellhole. St. Clara is the typical Caribbean island. Beautiful on the outside, poverty-stricken on the inside. People live in shacks and have hardly anything to eat. Healthcare and education are non-existent, and unemployment is through the roof. Someday, I will turn Tropico into a true world power. First things first, improving the situation on St. Clara will secure local support and establish the foundation for my plans.
Alright, so here's a bunch of stuff, including a couple of things and some neat little press stuff and all that kind of stuff. Basically, this is the first mission of the game. It's really not that difficult, but we are going to build ourselves a custom avatar. You could choose people like, there's Fidel and Shay, a bunch of other guys, like Pinochet. Who else do we got here? I thought we had Mao as well. No, these are all like, I think a lot of these are Banana Republic dictators. Some of them I know. Like, I know who Pinochet is. You know, I know who Antonio Salazar are. I know Fidel Castro Che Guevara, but I don't know everybody. Like, I don't know Evita Peron. I don't know who that is or whatever. So we're gonna do our own custom avatar. We're gonna be a dude. I'm not gonna spend too much time screwing around with what we look like. I think I'm just gonna look like the Generalissimo, and we'll be Mediterranean like me, and no hat. We could go with the Lucha mask with that. The rest of the stuff I'm not going to go forward. I don't really care what our avatar looks like so much. So I always play with the same background, and it's something I enjoy, but you can definitely choose something different. I like to rely on like producing things to build up my economy and then beat the missions as they go on. So that's like kind of the pace that I play this game at. So I'm going to pick Farmer. You can pick any of this stuff. Like, there's, you know, a bunch of different... Some of them, like, will definitely make things more difficult, and some of them will make things less difficult. So, like, for example, the Naturalist, while you'll have, like, these factions are easier, it does make certain things harder. There's a bunch of other things, but I always pick... Farmer. That's the one I like, and you'll see why as I start to stack these up. Alright, and then my rise to power. Just throw my cat off of me. I always go with Communist Rebellion for the simple reason as it gives me 10% farmer production. There's a bunch of other stuff you could look for here that are pretty good. Like, let's see. What else is pretty decent? The hotel corporate buyout is pretty decent if you want to make, like I said, if you want to make those, like if you like the tourism stuff. I take Communist Rebellion. I want the farm production. And then traits, we're going to take Green Thumb, because, well, it does screw our factory workers a little bit. Oh, no, we're not going to take Green Thumb. I forgot, Green Thumb sucks. We're going to take Hardworking, because overall production. The next one we're going to take is... might be entrepreneurial, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I thought Green Thumb gave you, like, better farming, but it actually doesn't. Multiple personality disorder, I think, is kind of funny. It just gives you, like, a bunch of different respects. Patriot, Pompous, Populist, Propaganda Specialist, Religious Zealot, Scholarly, Sociable. That's another one. If you're looking like to be like a good tourist, Sociable's good for that. So I think I'm gonna go with entrepreneurial just for the commodity prices, and then we'll go with charismatic's always good. Diplomatic's good. We're gonna go with financial genius, I think. Mostly because of the factory worker production. The other stuff is just kind of a bonus. So we have all that. We're farmer, communist rebellion, and all the traits. All of that stuff basically determines like the shell of your character. These guys level up. You can see here they got the stars, and I think you can actually change them as you go, but I can't remember. Most of the time, I find the best for my playstyle, and I just stick with them.
Look at the water. Look at the beaches. Look at the palm trees. This is my home. This is Tropico. This is paradise. It is still small, poor, and unknown. Yet I have big plans for it. Very big plans. Here I will build a nation and a country.
I think that's like the
Greetings, my friend.
only
Are you settling well
cutscene
on your new island?
aside from the first one. So St. Clair's in a terrible state. You should focus on making that place a little bit more habitable. So it's like, this is like teaching you the game a little bit. Focus on making people happy, content. Here's my cheat sheet, blah, 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 blah. I always forget the controls of this stupid game. Let's go pause. course, space is a pause. So the first thing I do, it gives you a little, like, a tiny little map here. I can't remember if I can zoom out any more than that. I don't think I can. So you have, like, all this space all around here. And unlike SimCity, like, you won't fill most of it. Like, I probably won't even use more than this little area here. So the first thing we need to do is we need to set up farms. And there's a couple of things you should know. First thing, it's like these shacks here, they don't cost anything. And your Tropicans, like your people, they'll live in these guys, but the housing quality is like totally crap. It's really bad. You can build buildings and the housing quality will go up. And then you can actually make money off of buildings by increasing the rent, which is fine. Generally speaking, when I play this game, what I try to do is eliminate the shacks and keep my housing quality as high as I could possibly do it without spending too much money. And so these little shacks, like, they'll disappear the more housing that's made available. And I usually will enact the edicts. There's edicts which work a lot like ordinances in this game, and I'll usually enact the free housing edicts. It costs you 500 and it'll cost you a little bit, but you're going to see we're going to become very productive and make a lot of money pretty quickly. So you can build buildings. This is the build menu, and I'll show you that more later. One of the things you need to know is, like, your construction office, which is this guy here, is like these guys will build the buildings you put down. So if you're building a lot of things a lot of the time, like quite frequently, you might want to consider building more than this. The Teamsters will pick up goods and move goods towards your dock, and your dock is where your import and exports come from, and you can check all of that information from here. You can also bring in more imports or bring in less imports. I usually end up forbidding imports for food, mostly because I like to provide my own food and I don't like to spend money. I like to make money. There's your palace. There's a bunch of other stuff you can build at your palace that all costs money. We start off with 10 grand, and what was it? The Teamster office drives around and picks up freight and moves it. The garage will, like, these guys will, like, take people to work and do all that kind of stuff. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work on some farms by right-clicking and going to left-clicking on food and resources by clicking farm. And it'll give us an overview. And this overview here, these green, is like where the crops will grow well. So corn grows really well right here. Alright, so I'm going to place a corn farm. But then I'm also going to place a papaya farm. And let's see, what else do we have here that is good. And the pineapple farm right there. These guys will need area to plant, so don't pack them too densely. And let's see, coffee, tobacco, and sugar. Yeah, sugar's going to be a good resource. So then I'm going to build a couple of sugar farms. Because we're a farmer, and because we have bonus to our farming, we can make a lot of money off of these farms. And that's going to be one of the ways in which we actually make our income. So I'm going to set it up to go fast, to the fastest mode, and I'm going to let these guys build. We're going to get a whole bunch of mini quests that like pop up and be like, hey, do this, hey, do that, whatever. So I'll show you what those look like when they come. But the first thing we have to do for the mission is to build 2 farms. And it actually looks like they're going to build the sugar farms first, which isn't really what I wanted them to do, but they'll get there. And in the early on missions, it's like almost impossible for you to fuck up and fail. So what I do is I tend to just ignore my money in the earlier missions, because when you go bankrupt, they'll just give you money.
Well done, Presidente.
Then you'll get things like this where it's like,
my name is Antonio Lopez.
He wants to give us
on behalf of the capitalist faction.
He wants to give us 10 grand to export tobacco. And at this point in the game, I just deny that mission because we're going to be able to make more money. Sometimes those are really good, and sometimes they're not worth it. These guys here, these farms, the food farms, will actually take a little bit of time to get going because they have to plant them and harvest them and all that other kind of stuff. And so we got about 10 grand added to our treasury, and I'm going to build a tenement. And I'm actually gonna build it right there. And then actually infrastructure, road, pop. I'll build a road to right there. I'd like to get rid of these shacks. I'm not going to worry about this mission for too long. I want to get some of the more basic things going. And I'd like to see my first set of exports. Which is why I'm leaving it on the fastest speed ever. Usually I play this game at the fastest speed possible. You can see sometimes the boat will pull up and it'll be like, you know, bringing 5 new immigrants. And since we don't have any freight, because we're not actually growing anything at this particular juncture, we didn't export anything. One of the other things we can do too to get our economy going a little bit is we can build a lumber camp under food and resources, I think. Yeah, a logging camp. And I'll show you guys how to set up like the full method of production once we get that logging camp going. So usually what I do with rent here is I'll just unify rent at free. And then a bunch of people will move in. You can also do things like click on each people. You can find out their pay, their job quality, who they're related to, and a bunch of other stuff. You can also do things like kill them, check their happiness. You can look at their skills and what they need. You'll notice here we're getting financial aid, like a lot of it from the USSR, not much from the USA. That's because the better your reputation is with those two nation states, the more money they'll respectively give you. Yeah, we're not producing anything right now, so we have to wait a little bit before that, and then we can start building some buildings to upgrade our food production. But as you can see, this place will start producing almost immediately, and there's other things we can do, like we can upgrade to the tool shop, and that'll upgrade how much this guy can actually produce. And since we're waiting, I'm going to build the churches that it says we need. Which I believe is under government. No, it's not. Welfare and the economy. Here we go. And I'll build it out here, I guess. Right, like that. So we got some more, and unfortunately we didn't get anything exported, but we are producing some wood from here, which will give us a little bit of money, not much. It's less important that we have these guys set up because these guys are like really bad polluters. The reason I'm setting up now is just to show you what everything sort of like looks like. So you know, like, if you're not using my method, which is like the farming method. So we need another tenement. I should just pay for apartment blocks. I can't remember if apartment blocks are... we'll use tenements for this mission. And actually, I'm going to build 2. Even though that put me in debt, I'm still going to build 2. Because we're going to start getting some production from our sugar. And it looks like we're actually getting some food as well. And this guy has some output storage as well. So our Teamsters should start being... They're like... Teamsters is like... It's like a union of truck drivers. And they'll start trucking all of our goods. We still need a whole bunch of workers, though.
A petition.
Yeah, and every once in a while you'll get missions. There's that financial aid. That financial aid like flows in. So as you can see, now we're exporting. Now we're getting some money, and now our income is flowing, and our basics are set up right now. Still need a lot more employees, though. Considered asking them to bring some specialists. So you can click the on here to bring another educated worker in. I'm not going to yet. I'm just going to let them come in by themselves. And you can check on other things like if you click this tab here, you can go to here. It'll show you like how much we spent, what their income is, blah 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 blah. This also tells you how you're doing with each faction, which really only matters for when there's elections. These are what your relations with each place looks like. As you can see, the US doesn't like us very much, but the USSR likes us. It's easy to bring the US relations back up. We can also, these three are like the minor ones. These three are the sources, usually the sources of your missions. Now, let me see here. Was it people? Yeah, so you can check overall happiness, and you can look here, it's like, you can see there's some things like liberty, for example, is really low. Same thing, like environment sucks. Respect is pretty good. Job quality is decent. Food quality is going up there. And each of these can be raised by doing different things, and I'll show you how to do that in some of the missions. Might not necessarily do that in this mission particularly, but the big thing I want to do is I want to get rid of all these shacks and make some room for people to come and work in the farms, because I'd like to get these places full. And you can look here that our next export revenue is going to be like 11 grand. So we got some more workers, and then we'll export all of that stuff. The ship might only take... Oh no, it's going to take everything. Boom. So you can see the dock workers. He's got some... everything for him is pretty good. Tells you like what he has. These you can look here and be like, housing's a button, liberty is a button, job is a button. You can increase his job quality by increasing the amount you pay for him. So I can increase the wage for all uneducated workers to 6. Same thing, you can do that with with priests. I'm just gonna hire a foreign expert here, so that we can get this mission going. Let's see here. Everything going good? No shacks. These guys are producing lots. Yeah, you can see like the farming. It makes it's such. Being a good farmer is like really really good. One of the things I like to do is I like to enact the food for the people. I'll let you guys read it. What it does is it doubles the amount of food consumption the island has, but it also substantially increases the food quality of each meal, quote-unquote meal. So what that'll do is if you look on their happiness, the food quality will go up if you have that enacted. And there's other things you can do to increase the food quality, and I'm going to cover those in the next video. This video mostly, what I wanted to do was just cover the basics, which is like to set up our farming area, what to do if you're not farming, which is like use other parts of industry, and I'll continue that in the next video, and then how to handle housing the way I've been sort of like I've learned how to handle it. So I hope you guys like this video, and I hope you guys will join me next time for Let's Play Tropico 4, where we continue to build this little island up into an empire. Thanks for watching.